Meeting order, 4:37. And we've got to approve the previous meetings, November 21st. That was a long time ago.
It was.
Wow.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, you've got sheets in front of you. Steve and I have been having a little bit of a discussion on the figures there. And the question is on the city and the administrative operating funds. The city operating fund, I cannot come up with that figure. And I've told him that, and he has not been able to check out why that's there. But the issue seems to be as to which figure we're using for the balance sheet, whether we're using checks that are written and are not cashed, or only checks that have been written in cash. If we only use the figures that have been written and cashed, the figure for the Schenectady operating account should be $75,916.77. We have about $74,000 in outstanding checks at that point. And for the administrative account, it should be $9,428.04. So there's a little bit of changes in that. And as I say, we're not certain. All of the other figures, the money market accounts that are showing, and the Amsterdam account, there are no outstanding checks. So the figures are the same. You understand, I think, what I'm saying on this type of thing. So there's a slight difference on that. The only other thing that I note, there's a couple of different figures which you won't see on this page, but you will see on the very top of the next page. In January, we earned interest by going to the money market accounts of $6,824.09, which should come out, if that will hold true for each month thereafter, which we know it's not, meaning that we'll be earning about $80,000. In the 3 months since we've met the last time, we've actually earned over $18,000 in interest, which is not showing on that type of thing, which at that rate works out to a a little over $72,000 in income. At any rate, what it's showing is what we're doing by the money market account is that we are making money off of the money that we are getting from the state and other sources quite nicely. We can certainly do at least a project or maybe more with that type of funds. I don't have any other comments on the treasurer's report.
Yeah,
So,
in regards to the administration operating, how are we going to confirm them?
we're
Funds that are there, not there?
Yeah, well, I sent an email off to Tonya, and I'll work it out with Joe tomorrow. We'll get it back, and I'll update everybody by email.
It's not the administrative operating, it's the Schenectady operating funds. When we take, if we take the figure which has outstanding checks, the balance should be $576.77. I have no idea where that $1,000 comes from.
Okay.
And that's what I said to Steve, is that I can, on the administrative operating fund, I clearly see where the figures are, but that figure just puzzled me. I just don't know where it comes from. So I don't know what do you want to do? Do you want to hold off on approving a report? I've just given you a report, or at the pleasure of the board, what you would like to be able to do?
I think we should have clarification before we approve.
And you have the financial figures, and you understand that there's at least $1,000 figure that neither Steve nor I can figure out where it came from, because it's not showing on the reconciliation report. And the other reports, as I say, it depends on whether we're taking the figures which include the outstanding checks which have not been cashed as of the end of the month, or we're just doing the checks that have been cashed at that point. So that's $1,000 figure. As somebody once said,
So it's-
Only gets up to 100,000 or 1 million before it starts to be real money.
The last good number is 160643.
Which,
What is the last good known number?
which number? are you
Admin
looking at?
operating. Isn't that the account value one?
Yes,
What's the last known?
yes, I understand that. I didn't check those figures. I didn't do the cumulative. I looked at them and saw, but I did not try to check what those figures were. I understand what you're asking me. Because as you may remember, we didn't get the full reports until this afternoon.
Can we approve offline as an executive?
We don't have to,
session?
we've done this in the past, but we've held it up and approved at the next meeting.
Okay,
You've got a report. There is a discrepancy of $1,000.
Yep.
You've seen that there. We will confirm, and by the March meeting, we will have hopefully everything straightened out. I mean, $1,000 is not that, in a $2 million budget is, what do they say, chump change?
Mr. Vice Chair, I assume the meeting's under your command, so whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so, we'll wait to approve it. We'll just find that Steve is going to follow up on where the funds are, where the misconception is.
Yeah,
And
but
then we can, approve it at the next meeting. It's not going to affect anything moving forward, is it?
that's not, we've done this in the past, before Steve became the executive director. There were, every once in a while, there was a discrepancy that we had found out on the thing. And this was, if you didn't get the report, and I was in class, and when I got back out of class, I saw this and immediately talked to Steve, and he was gonna check it, as he said, the accountant who does this is not available to be able to answer the questions on that short notice.
Okay, so we're going to table the existing treasury report to clarify.
I'm not tabling anything. I'm not moving a treasurer's report,
Okay,
which is the way it's going. That's the question I was asking. There's no.
So discrepancy is determined, we'll review it.
Yeah, you've got it. We'll know, have an answer for the next meeting.
so I will move to welcome Mr. Rizzo.
Thank you, sir.
Um,
I appreciate you taking over,
Yeah.
as usual.
Your pink pass is running late.
Thank you, I appreciate
We're gonna
everyone's.
deduct all of this from your salary. You realize?
Yes, I will gladly donate. Okay, so we are at Executive Director's Report. Just a couple minor comments from the chairman. As you guys know, we've got election of officers today. I assume the governance committee didn't happen, we'll do it at the end, right?
No, it did.
Oh, it did?
happened, So they moved forward the slate as.
Okay. Well then, thank you very much for your confidence and support as chair. I appreciate everyone continuing on in their officer roles. And I've said many times before, this board is effective, it's efficient, and our efforts do not go unnoticed. We make a difference in the communities that we serve, and I'm very appreciative, as well as everyone else around the table, I'm sure is. In the last 60 days, we had a celebration at Cocoa House for they reached out to community and they celebrated a number of people. They honored the land bank with some recognition on helping them to continue their mission and some of the support that I think you guys have known and have passed. We've got obviously a number of demos coming on the last meeting. You've got some new business to talk about. Steve's going to go through a presentation. But demolitions still carry the day in a number of areas. And I'm appreciative of the board's support. We continue to make transformational change. Thank you. Steve?
Okay, some updates. These are mostly Schenectady-based updates.